Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out the updated edition of the Duration Pack from Pioneer Carry. Like we saw with the updated edition of the Panda Pack earlier this year, this is more of an evolution than a complete redesign of the Duration Pack, so it's still going to offer the same layout and style from the original, but with a little bit more space and some additional updates. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use it over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, the appearance here is very similar to the previous version of the Duration Pack. In general, I'm a big fan of Pioneer Carry's designs. To me, they have a pretty modern, techie vibe that feels a little bit more rugged than something like an Air or a Bellroy backpack, and I think that that allows it to stand out while still working well in a lot of different environments. This is definitely the type of thing that I've taken into the office quite a bit. Feels great for traveling and also works well for just walking around the city. As far as the materials, the bag feels very solidly built. The exterior fabric is Pioneer's 840D ballistic nylon, which I've now had a chance to use for a while across a couple of their different bags, and so far it has held up very well. It feels super premium, durable, and then beyond that, I've also really come to like the YKK zippers that they use with the bag. This was something that I was a little worried about when I first started using the Million Mile collection a while back, but I've come to really appreciate how smooth these zippers actually feel. Continuing along the outside of the bag, unlike the Panda Pack, this one doesn't have any pockets on the side. It's a little bit more minimal. You do have the luggage tag included with the bag that you can remove and is a great accessory for traveling. And then at the top, you also have a nice carrying handle. This feels well reinforced, very easy to pick the bag up when you need to. And the last thing I'll mention while we're on the exterior is that this does stand up quite well on its own. So when you place it down next to you, you'll be able to access the pockets when you need to. Moving into the capacity, this is probably going to be the biggest difference between this version and the original of the Duration Pack. The one that I have here comes in at 22 liters. The original was around 18 liters. And so far, I really like the additional capacity that's included in the bag. I think that it does a good job of not feeling much bigger than the previous version while still giving you that extra bit of space. And in general, I think that 22 liters is a great daily bag size. I was able to hold all the items that I normally like to carry with me, and the bag didn't feel overwhelmingly bulky while I was carrying it around, even when it was packed out. And I think that this is something that's going to work well for carrying onto a variety of domestic and international airlines, as well as using it for jumping onto public transit and carrying in a crowded area. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been pretty comfortable to wear. It looks like some of the updates that were made on the Panda Pack 2's harness have also made their way here, as far as having just a little bit more padding on the strap. So far it's felt nice and comfortable right out of the box. On the inside you don't have any sort of breathable mesh, but it's a pretty soft material here. And then these straps also have a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. And you don't have the ability to add a sternum strap here on the straps, so very minimal, no webbing or anything like that. And on the back panel, you also have a nice amount of padding. Again, this reminds me a little bit of the Panda Pack, and so this has worked fine. You have a little bit of elevation here, and it's something that as I've been wearing it around, I haven't noticed any issues throughout the day. You also have a luggage pass through here that's going to allow you to rest this on your suitcase while traveling. And I like the orientation here to allow me to stand this up and make it easy to access my laptop. Jumping into the organizational options, the layout here is very similar to the previous version. And so on the front, you have two great quick access pockets. I'm always a big fan of the volume that Pioneer Carry includes in these type of pockets. It makes them very usable for lots of different types of items. And so starting off here at the top, this is where I will store my sunglasses. They're able to fit in there even with their case. And then on the inside, I also have a charging cable for my phone and my tablet. I have a headlamp, and I also have my AirPods Pro. All that fit in there, and it still felt like there was a little bit of leftover capacity. So again, nice volume here. And then below that, another spacious compartment. At the moment in here, I have my USB-C hub along with its cables to charge my laptop and other devices. And then I have an alpaca admin pouch here, which fits very easily And on the back of this compartment, you do have a slip pocket that'll be a good spot for something smaller, maybe a notebook. And then you also have a lanyard here that'll be a good spot to attach your keys with something like a carabiner. You have this little snap closure here to allow you to attach a variety of items. On the back of the bag, you have a dedicated laptop compartment, which I'm always a fan of as it just makes it easier to get to your device when you need to. And you have a pretty good amount of space and padding in this section. On one side, you have a spacious compartment that you can use to store an additional device, a tablet, or maybe even something like a folder, documentation. And then you have a suspended sleeve in the compartment so you can actually drop your laptop in. It's not making contact with the ground when it's in this sleeve. And the sleeve itself can easily handle my 14-inch MacBook Pro. For a 16-incher, I think this might start to get a little bit tight. And the sleeve itself isn't super padded. I would have liked to have maybe seen some extra protection here, but the fact that it is suspended is very helpful, and then I can take it out very easily with the orientation. This also works well when I have this on my suitcase. When I'm going through TSA, I can just reach in, grab it, put it back in without any problems, and then you can get a better look at the sleeve now with the device not in there. And so, you know, it's a simple sleeve on its own. If you have a thicker 14-inch laptop, it could fit in there pretty comfortably. And although I wish this was maybe a little bit more padded, with the fact that it's suspended and the rest of the padding that's offered in the compartment, it does feel like my device is going to be well protected. And then moving into the main compartment, you have a full clamshell style opening, which is going to provide great visibility into this section for easier packing. And with the 22 liters of capacity, you can see that it can hold my modular setup here. So I have a bunch of different pouches at the top. I have the Evergood Civic Access pouch 1/2 liter. I have the Civic Access pouch 1 liter, a tech kit from Air, my Beats Studio wireless headphones, and then I have the Civic Access pouch 2 liters as well. All of that fit in there comfortably. It didn't feel like the bag was stuffed or anything like that. And then on the back, you have a slip pocket. That'll be a good spot to provide some separation, again, for notebooks or flatter items. And then you have a few attachment points here on the inside. I don't really use those much. I suppose they could pair well with, you know, a variety of different clips and carabiners or something like that. And you have this nice lining on the inside. And with the layout that's offered here, even though this isn't a huge bag, it can be used for minimal travel. If you want to toss in a packing cube and a toiletry bag, you could definitely use this for a weekend trip. And on the other side, you have an additional slip pocket here that I use to store my tablet, just to be able to grab it quickly. But this is just something that you can, you know, drop a few things in here, reach it from the top. There's no additional zipper or internal organization. And then you do have one mesh zipper pocket here, very nice material. And you can see on the inside, and it's gonna offer a decent amount of space for all sorts of tech and everyday items that you might need. At the moment, I'm using this to store my suction cup mount for my phone, as well as a retractable USB-C cable, and I have my little EDC scissors here as well. And with those items in there, there was still plenty of leftover space. So that's what I've always liked about Pioneer's bags in the main area and throughout the rest of the bag, is just this layout that gives you options to organize your stuff, but still leaves a lot of flexibility to kind of manage things in the way that's gonna work best for your style. And so great to see that that hasn't changed from the original version. It's nice to have the extra space without it feeling super different. And so if you're looking for a more kind of EDC friendly bag that's gonna offer a great build quality and a unique style, then this is gonna be a really cool option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, you can currently purchase the Duration Pack on the company's site. It's gonna come in at around $329, so definitely premium pricing, as tends to be the case with Pioneer's bags. It does feel like you're getting something that's very solidly built and is gonna offer a nice feature set, but there's gonna be some other great bags in this price range that may be worth considering. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is the Packed Day Pack. That one is also listed at about 22 liters, and it's got a very nice organizational layout. Great quick access pockets on the front, dedicated laptop compartment. It's got a pretty comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through. It's more of a top-loading bag, so it doesn't have the clamshell style layout that this one has, but you know, really nice layout in general, solid materials. It's gonna have a little bit more of a, you know, minimal, subdued aesthetic, but it's gonna make it very versatile. And so if you're looking for something that's gonna offer a layout that's kind of like this, that's also gonna give you water bottle pockets, and that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the Rework Toshi Pack. That one's listed at about 20 liters, but it has a clamshell style layout that makes it feel like it can hold a pretty similar amount to this one here. It's also got a really great organizational layout, some quick access pockets, dual external water bottle pockets, dedicated laptop compartment, and then it's got a super comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through, so it offers a lot of the same benefits as this one here. It's gonna have a more subdued, minimal style, but if you're looking for something very versatile, that's gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the 18-liter double compartment bullet from GoRuck. I've been a big fan of the layout and the size of that bag. It's now offered in a couple of different fabrics and styles, but in general, the double compartment layout that it offers works well. So you have a main clamshell style compartment and a secondary one, so there's a lot of flexibility in how you can organize. There's also some good built-in pocketing. You have a quick access pocket at the top, a dedicated and suspended laptop compartment, and it's just very solidly built regardless of the fabric that you go with. And the 18-liter size always feels like it can hold a bit more than you would expect for an 18-liter bag. So as you're wearing it, it feels pretty similar to this one in my opinion. And so just a very solid, versatile bag. And if you're looking for an EDC backpack that's gonna offer a solid organizational layout that's gonna be a little bit different than this one, that's gonna be a great one to keep in mind. With that being said, the Duration Pack 2.0 holds up very well against all those options. I was already a big fan of the original, so it's been great to have a chance to revisit it, have a little bit of extra space, but still have the same great materials and layout that I liked on the original. And so if you're looking for a stylish and rugged everyday carry bag, this is gonna be a really cool option to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Duration Pack 2.0 and how it compares to some of the other popular tech and EDC bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Pioneer Carry for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.